Hello and welcome to Fluent Way English, your new favorite place to grow your English and your confidence. If you've ever found yourself thinking in your own language first and then trying to translate every word into English, you're not alone. In fact, this is one of the biggest challenges for English learners around the world. But today, you're going to take your first step to break free from that habit. Now let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt stuck while speaking English? Not because you didn't know the words, but because your brain was too busy translating? That's the moment where many learners get frustrated, lose confidence, and feel like giving up. But here's the good news. It doesn't have to be that way. You can think in English. You can speak with flow. And more than that, you can enjoy it. And we're here to help you do exactly that. At Fluent Way English, we don't just teach you grammar and vocabulary. We help you build real communication skills. We help you think in English, feel in English, and express yourself in English, naturally and confidently. Because learning a language isn't just about words. It's about changing your life. Imagine this. You're in a job interview, and you speak clearly and confidently. You travel abroad and make friends without fear. You watch a movie or give a presentation, and you understand every word. That's not just learning English. That's unlocking your future. Now I want you to think about this. What could change in your life if you spoke English fluently? Would you go for your dream job, study in a different country, start a YouTube channel, help your family? Whatever your goal is, big or small, fluency is a tool that can take you there. So if you're ready to stop translating in your head, if you're ready to think in English and take control of your learning journey, stay with us. Because today, you're not just learning a new skill, you're building a new mindset. Let's get started. Let's begin with a simple truth. Translating in your head slows you down. It feels safe, right? You hear something in English, you translate it into your language. Think of a reply, translate that back into English, then you speak. But by the time you're ready to answer, the conversation has already moved on. This habit is not your fault. Most of us learn English by memorizing vocabulary lists and translating sentences in school. We were trained to think like that. But here's the problem. Translation is a bridge, not the destination. When you keep translating everything, your brain is doing double the work. It's like trying to run a race while carrying a heavy backpack. You're not moving freely. You're carrying the weight of two languages. Now, let me ask you, have you ever missed a chance to speak because you were too busy thinking? Maybe someone asked you a question and you froze, not because you didn't understand, but because your brain was still translating the words. That moment of silence, that hesitation, can feel like failure. But it's not failure. It's a sign that you're ready for the next step, to start thinking directly in English. You might say, but I'm not fluent yet. That's okay. Thinking in English doesn't mean speaking perfectly. It means starting small. It means letting English enter your thoughts, even with simple words. And once you stop relying on translation, you'll be amazed at how much faster and more confident you become. Because your brain is powerful. You just need to train it in the right way. So remember this. You don't need to translate to speak. You need to practice thinking. And that's exactly what we're going to learn next. So, if translation is the habit that slows you down, then what's the solution? Thinking in English. But what does that really mean? Thinking in English doesn't mean you suddenly stop using your native language. It means you begin to train your brain to handle simple, everyday thoughts using English without needing to go through translation first. It's a shift. a change in how you interact with the language. Imagine this. You wake up and say to yourself, "I'm hungry. I want coffee." You look outside and think, "It's sunny today." You walk to work and notice that car is red. The driver looks tired. These are small thoughts, but they are powerful because the more you think in English, the more natural English becomes. You don't need to wait for the perfect grammar. You just need to start where you are. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you thought in English? Just for yourself. Not for a test, not for a lesson, but just in your mind. That's where fluency begins. Not on paper, not in a textbook, but in your daily thoughts. Think of it like this. Babies don't learn a language by translating. They listen, absorb, and think directly in the language they hear. And guess what? You can train your brain the same way. You already know more English than you think. Now it's time to use it, to live it, to let English be part of your thinking, your feelings, and your voice. So, the next time you're brushing your teeth or walking alone, try it. Describe what you see. Ask yourself simple questions. Say your plans for the day, all in English. Because the more you think in English, the easier it becomes to speak without fear, hesitation, or that long pause while your brain translates. And remember this, fluency is not about being perfect. It's about being present. It's about thinking in English, speaking with confidence, and growing a little every single day. Now that you understand why thinking in English matters, let's talk about how to actually do it. This is where a lot of learners get stuck. They say, "But how do I start thinking in English when I don't feel ready?" The answer is simple. You don't wait until you're ready. You train your brain to get ready. And like any kind of training, it starts small. Here are some simple, practical strategies you can use today. Name what you see. Look around you right now. What can you name in English? The table is brown. I have a notebook. There is a bottle of water on my desk. Even one sentence is enough to activate your brain. Do this a few times a day and it becomes a habit. Use inner monologue. Talk to yourself in your mind. Look and do it while walking, cooking, or waiting in line. I'll need to buy milk. I will call my friend later. Tomorrow I have a meeting. These simple thoughts, repeated often, create mental pathways that help you speak faster and more confidently. 3. Ask and answer simple questions. You can ask yourself questions like, what do I want to eat? How do I feel today? What did I do yesterday? Then try to answer in English, even if it's not perfect. That's how fluency grows. Keep a daily thought journal in English. Every evening, write a few short sentences about your day. It doesn't have to be long. Just ask yourself, what happened today? What did I learn? How did I feel? You're not writing an essay. You're training your brain to process thoughts in English. Use mental flashbacks. Think back to a moment in your day. Replay it in your head using English. For example, if you ordered coffee this morning, try to describe the moment in English. I walked into the shop. I smiled at the barista. I said, "1 cappuccino, please." These small exercises don't take a lot of time, but they make a huge difference. Remember, fluency doesn't come from memorizing more words. It comes from using what you already know. Even if your vocabulary is small, you can still think in English with it. And the more you do, the more your vocabulary and your confidence will grow. So start now. Right after this video, try one of these strategies. Think 1 sentence in English, then 2, then 5. That's how fluency begins, one thought at a time. Now let's take it one step further. When you stop translating and start thinking directly in English, something amazing happens. You start to speak with freedom. No more searching for words. No more feeling stuck. No more second-guessing yourself every time you open your mouth. That's the power of direct thinking. You begin to understand English the way native speakers do, not word by word, but meaning by meaning. You don't need to build a sentence piece by piece. Your brain already knows what it wants to say. You just say it. This is how real fluency feels. Let me give you an example. Imagine someone says, "Hey, do you want to grab lunch later?" If you're stuck in the habit of translating, you might pause and think. Grab means take. Lunch is blah blah blah. Later means what? You try to put it all together. You hesitate. You feel nervous. But when you're thinking directly in English, your brain hears the sentence, understands the meaning instantly, and replies naturally. "Sure, I'm free at 1." Or, "Sorry, I already have plans." That kind of response isn't perfect. It's real. It's fluent. It's the result of training your brain to think without needing translation. So here's something powerful to remember. You don't need to understand every single word to understand the message. Language is about meaning. It's about connection. And when you think directly in English, you focus on the message, not the grammar, not the dictionary meaning, just the message. This skill will help you in every situation. Talking to a friend, watching a movie, answering a question in class, writing an email. Everything becomes easier when you trust your brain to think in English. It's not magic, it's practice. It's a mindset shift, and it starts with one simple belief. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be present. Now let's bring everything together. You've learned that translating in your head holds you back. You've seen how thinking directly in English builds confidence and fluency. You've discovered real strategies you can use every day. So here's the next step. Make a decision. Not just to learn more words, not just to pass a test, but to live in English, to think in English, to let English become a part of who you are. Because English isn't just a school subject. It's not just grammar rules or long vocabulary lists. It's a tool, a key. And when you use that key, you unlock new doors in your life. New jobs, new friends, new places, new confidence in yourself. But this change won't come from watching one video or reading one book. It comes from a choice you make every day. The choice to keep going. The choice to believe in yourself even when it's hard. The choice to say, "I will speak English and I will get better." So let me ask you again, one last time. What would your life look like if you could speak English without fear? What could change in your career, your travel, your dreams? Hold on to that vision. That future is possible. And it starts now. Not next year, not when you're ready. Now. Today, right here. Because at Fluent Way English, we don't just help you speak English. We help you build the courage to use it. We help you build habits that create change. We help you take one step closer to the future you deserve. So keep practicing. Keep thinking in English. Keep showing up for yourself every single day. You're not just learning a language. You're becoming someone new.